Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616 and to day 3 of Luke Cage week. For today I wanted to release my review of the first 2 seasons of Marvel's Daredevil. It follows blind lawyer Matt Murdock, part of a small law firm called Nelson & Murdock, which he owns with his friend Foggy Nelson. Murdock defends the innocent in court by day and beats the snot out of crime by night as the masked vigilante Daredevil. Now, back when this was first announced by Marvel, it was when I was only just starting to get into the deeper lore of Marvel comics beyond just the movies and cartoons. Because of that, I sort of knew who Daredevil was, but not enough to really interest me. I did know who Luke Cage and Iron Fist were from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Ultimate Spider-Man, but I didn't know them beyond that, and then I had absolutely no clue who Jessica Jones was. So, none of them really made me jump up and down in excitement, but at this point I had already made my vow to watch every second of the MCU, a vow I still follow to this day, so I planned to see them. When Daredevil Season 1 went on Netflix on April 10th, 2015, I really watched it more to kill time until Avengers Age of Ultron, which I was massively excited for. It's kind of ironic then that I ended up not liking Age of Ultron and absolutely loving Daredevil. Daredevil is an exceptional show. It really is. The fight scenes, the writing, the acting, it's all fantastic. The characters are deep, complex, and human, and the story was gripping and smart. Season 1 absolutely blew me away because I'd never seen anything like it. Before Daredevil, the most complex thing I'd ever watched was Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But this show completely changed my view of things. I'd wanted to be a filmmaker since I'd seen The Avengers in 2012, but it wasn't until I saw Daredevil that I was genuinely inspired and started work on actual original things, not either Avengers or an Avengers ripoff. I could talk for hours about Daredevil Season 1. It is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and one of the best things I've seen thus far. The complexity of not just Daredevil, but Wilson Fisk too, was so fascinating. This was the first time I'd seen an actually complex villain, and now I can't write one-dimensional villains. They all need to have some sort of emotional angle to them for me. There are so many things that are awesome about Season 1, such as the way Daredevil and Fisk's arcs correlate with each other, and Ben Urich, and Wesley in the hallway fight, and Stick, and the story, and Karen Page, and Wesley, and let's not forget Foggy. He was cool too. Oh, and Wesley. I don't know if I mentioned him. Point is, Daredevil's awesome, and I can honestly barely find anything to criticize about Season 1, other than some minor pacing issues in the last couple of episodes. But you'll notice I haven't said anything about Season 2 yet. Now, I don't hate Season 2. It's fantastic, just like Season 1. It has great action scenes, writing, characters, but it's almost like it's missing something. Now, Season 2 had different showrunners, with Marco Ramirez and Douglas Petrie instead of Stephen S. DeKnight. And they did a great job. They're set to make The Defenders and Daredevil Season 3, in fact. However, it was very clear that different people were making it. There were some minor changes that bothered me, such as the cool color palette from the first season being almost completely removed, making it much less visually interesting. I think this is mostly due to people complaining about Season 1 being too darkly lit, but I don't know, I like that. It suited the show's tone very well, but the show has a couple of other things that bother me too. Season 2 introduced several big characters to the MCU: the Punisher, Elektra, and the Hand. The first 4 episodes are focused solely on the Punisher, but then episodes 5 through 13 are about Elektra and the Hand. The Punisher doesn't go away, but he sort of takes a back seat for a while, and then it alternates between the Punisher and Elektra storyline, both of which have no connections to each other than Daredevil. That's really the main problem with Season 2, is it feels almost like it has too much going on, and then the last couple of episodes have some pretty bad pacing problems. Even Season 2's fight scenes don't grab me quite as much as Season 1, except for the stairway fight in Season 2, Episode 3. The fight scenes aren't bad, but in Season 1, DeKnight meticulously built up tension and gave every single fight a purpose, so that not only does each fight have a reason for happening, but they have genuine tension because of great storytelling. Season 2 has fantastic writing and a pretty good story, but I think that Ramirez and Petrie are just a bit less skilled than DeKnight as far as crafting a story goes. It is hard to make a flowing story that has both Punisher and Elektra as major players, since they both have very different tones they bring with them. And considering that, they did a very good job. But at the end of the day, Season 2 just didn't leave me on the edge of my seat the whole time, or send chills down my spine every time the opening theme came up. But not only that, the final battle felt kind of cheap in a lot of ways. In Season 1, it was a much better, intense brawl in an alleyway between Fisk and Daredevil. And it didn't need to be any more than that. In Season 2, it's a fight on a rooftop between Daredevil and Elektra and the Nobu and some hand ninjas, and that's perfectly fine, great even, but that didn't grab me like Season 1 did. In Season 1, we deeply understood both Daredevil and Fisk, and we felt every single punch they took. We were rooting for Daredevil, but at the same time, we kind of felt bad for Fisk, too. It was brilliant. In Season 2, Nobu was just kind of a generic villain, so much so that I was literally able to predict what he was going to say next several times. Because of this, we have no emotional connection to him. And not only that, but Season 2 doesn't do a very good job of explaining a lot of vital plot elements in the final episodes, so that when the final battle comes, we barely understand what's going on. And without spoiling it, something happens in the last episode, but it didn't feel shocking, not because I didn't care, but for two reasons. A, because of some kind of lazy writing, I saw it coming a mile away. And B, it isn't dwelled upon, which is part of the pacing problem I mentioned. So, from what I've said, it sounds like I didn't like Season 2 at all, but that's not the case. I loved it. 99% was brilliantly written, and Punisher and Elektra were both unnaturally awesome, but it didn't feel quite as strong as the first season did. However, overall, I give Daredevil a 5 out of 5. If I were rating the individual seasons, Season 1 would be a 5 out of 5, and Season 2 would be a 4.5 out of 5. But overall, it gets the top rating. Daredevil is simply a brilliant show, no two ways about it. But do you agree? Did you like Daredevil as much as I did? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Day 4 of Luke Cage Week.